Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your man DJ Playboy. I'm in the building rocking out with you, man. You know I gotta come through on a solo dolo tip. Just cause sometimes there's just some things we just gotta talk about. It's in the news, it's out here. Why not talk about it, man? And first thing that caught my eye this week was the Jamie Foxx controversy. Jamie Foxx had the Twitter fingers and he decided to make a post. You know what I mean? And the post read, "They killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you?" Hashtag fake friends, fake love. So I read that post and I seen it and I was like, I understood it. You know what I mean? I speak the language. I'm like, yo, the people closest to you might be the people you got to watch out for the most. You know what I mean? The people that have the most access to you might be the people that, you know what I mean, bring the enemy in. You know what I mean? So you always got to be very careful with the circle and the people you keep around you. So I was kind of surprised when I saw that Jamie Foxx had to issue an apology for that post and delete it. The post that he apologized in said, "I want to apologize to the Jewish community and everyone who was offended by my post. I now know my choice of words have caused offense, and I'm sorry. That was never my intent. To clarify, I was betrayed by a fake friend, and that's what I meant with they, not anything more. I only have love in my heart for everyone. I love and support the Jewish community. My deepest apologies to anyone who was offended. Nothing but love always, Jamie Foxx." So I'm assuming, or not assuming, I do know, but when I read that, I had to assume that, like, okay, so the they and the they killed this dude named Jesus was what people might be taking offense of. And maybe reading that, the Jewish community felt like he was talking about them, but I didn't read it like that. And I don't think, you know, a lot of other African Americans, black people read it, people of color, whatever term you use, you know what I mean, read it and thought that Jamie meant the Jewish community. Like I said, I took it as just the people around you, the circle around you. Be careful with the circle you keep. You know what I mean? Nas got a song called "Watch Them" that's close to you, and make sure they do what they supposed to do. You know what I mean? Because that's the closest ones who could take you down. You know what I mean? That's the ones who could definitely have something access to you and lead to your betrayal, the same way Judas did to Jesus. So where it went left and was taken out of context, I'm a little bit confused by. I'm also confused as to why Jamie apologized. I don't believe he meant it as any type of derogatory term towards the Jewish community. Actually, I'm lying. I do know why he apologized, because it's not worth the smoke. It's not worth the negative headlines, you know what I mean, for something that was misinterpreted. So I get that, but in the apology, I guess if I was to do it, I'd be like, I would more so explain what I meant by it, and show that we can't always jump to conclusions when we're getting offended. Like, granted, I'm not the person that can tell anybody how to be offended, but also, it's also cool to maybe have a couple discussions before you decide to get offended and be like, well, what do you think you meant by that? And you know what I mean? We do live in an era now where it's so easy to react and get right on the social media platforms and say what you feel, but I think, you know what I mean, everything shows you take time, you know what I mean? Jennifer Aniston allegedly liked the comment, you know what I mean? And I'm not sure if she runs her own social media or whatever the case may be, or maybe she just saw Jamie posting and was like, yo, shout out to Jamie. Jamie's back. He's at it. So she liked it. Not sure why she felt that she had to issue an apology and make a post. She like screenshotted a headline that says, "Actor Jamie Foxx posts horrifically anti-Semitic message to his 16.7 million followers." She put a picture of the screenshot of the post that I read that Jamie Foxx had put up, and then says above it, "This really makes me sick. I did not like this post on purpose or by accident." I'm not sure what that means. And more importantly, I want to be clear to my friends and anyone hurt by this showing up in their feeds. I do not support any form of anti-Semitism, and I truly don't tolerate hate of any kind, period. Now, people were really wondering, or sorry, were really quick to say, yo, Jen, we get it, you know, you made it hit the like, you ain't feel it, but you ain't have to really throw Jamie under the bus with that, because Jamie didn't mean it like that. And for you to take your platform and now perpetuate this thought that Jamie made an anti-Semitic tweet or post to begin with is silly. And she definitely got dragged for it, especially by Black Twitter. She had to turn her comments off because they were flooding her Instagram comments This wasn't anti-Semitic. You liked it because it resonated with you. Simply unliking Jamie Foxx's now deleted misinterpreted post would have sufficed. Just throwing him under the bus with your large platform is wild. Jamie shouldn't have apologized. People saw the hashtags, knew what he meant, and decided to become fake outrage. So, you know what I mean? People had their opinions about it. I think what needs to happen more, before we run to the cancellation, and there's nothing wrong with apologizing. If I think you're a small person if you can't be the bigger person to apologize if you're in the wrong. But if you're misinterpreted, I don't feel like that warrants a apology. Maybe warrants an explanation. And let's have more conversations before we get outraged. Let's call people up. Let's see what's going on. You know what I mean? And what you mean by that? What was that supposed to? I've had incidents in my life where I've said something, just random in reference to a song, in reference to something, you know what I mean? And people have been like, well, what do you mean by that? You know what I mean? What was that? Was that directed at me? And it's a simple conversation that either it is or it isn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Jamie Foxx is going to use his platform to subtweet, you know what I mean, the Jewish community. He's either going to go full Kanye with it or, maybe, didn't mean it like it was taken. So, shout out to Jamie. Like I said, a lot of people were mad that he apologized, but I totally get it. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight a battle that you're not even really, here to fight. Because that really wasn't even what you meant at the time. So you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Some things just aren't worth it. And another situation where we see a celebrity apologizing was Neo. Recently, Neo did an interview with Gloria Velez for Vlad TV and had some comments about the trans community. Let's see some of the quotes. He said, I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman. And there were two genders, and that's just how I rock. You could identify as a goldfish if you really feel like, I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not going to call you a goldfish, but if you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. We live in a weird time, man. We do. I guess at another point in the conversation, he said, I feel like parents have forgotten what the role of a parent is. If your little boy comes up to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, you just let him rock with that, he's 5. If you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's going to do that. When did it become a good idea to let 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves? When did it happen? I don't understand. He can't drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex. So of course, Neo got the backlash from that. He expanded his thoughts later on Saturday and in an Instagram post and said, first and foremost, I condemn no one. Who am I to condemn anybody? Your life, your kids, your choice. I was asked a question and I answered it. My opinion is mine. I'm not telling anybody to agree with me, nor am I telling you what you can or cannot do with your children. I stated my opinion on a matter and that's that. Why should I care if my opinion upsets you when you don't care if yours upsets anyone? Opinions are special. We all have one. People voice them regularly, whether they're asked or not. I was actually asked mine. Agreeing to disagree is not a declaration of war. Y'all do whatever the hell y'all want to, but my feelings are on the matter are mine. Same way yours are yours. Meanwhile, I love everybody. Don't agree with some of y'all ideals, but I love you no less. And then he had to drop the apology. After much reflection, I'd like to express my deepest apologies to anyone I may have hurt by my comments on parenting and gender identity. I've always been an advocate for love and inclusivity in the LGBTQ I plus community, so I understand how my comments could have been interpreted as insensitive and offensive. Gender identity is nuanced, and I can honestly admit that I plan to better educate myself on the topic so I can approach future conversations with more empathy. At the end of the day, I lead with love and support everyone's freedom of expression and pursuit of happiness. Once again, nothing wrong with apologizing if you feel like something you did was wrong. Nothing wrong with apologizing if you feel like it's going to mess up your bottom line. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that, it's a business, right? We're all business people here. We're all trying to expand, and Neo's no different. Also, don't think anything was wrong, though. If you have an opinion about something, express it. You know what I mean? If you were saying it to hurt somebody, if you were saying it to make somebody feel bad, that's messed up. You know what I mean? That's not cool. But there's no way that we can learn our opinions are ignorant or that we're not seeing another side of it unless we express it. And we can't crucify everybody for if they're opinions don't follow the status quo. The politically correct was the term we used to use back in the day. You know what I mean? Like it's somebody's. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Like, you know what I mean? There are a sect of people who use their platform and who use their opinions to hurt people, but we can't paint everybody with that broad stroke. Was Neo trying to hurt anybody? Was Neo being offended? No, I think Neo just comes from a time, and he holds in his heart an ideal towards a man being a man and a woman being a woman. Uh, but Neo, I think, fully understands that just because he feels the type of way doesn't mean that the rest of the world is moving in that direction, and it can cause just an unsafe situation for everybody when everyone's afraid to express their opinions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get out there. Now, it doesn't mean we can't correct everyone, but I've said it on this podcast before. You know, I'm correction over cancellation. You know what I mean? I'm consulting. You know what I mean? Call somebody up and tell them why that was crazy. That's not cool. Why that's not acceptable. Why you shouldn't say that on a big platform, and then talk it out. But we can't just knock everybody who has an opinion that's different than ours. You know what I mean? Neo's situation was a little bit different than Jamie Foxx's, where I think Jamie was misinterpreted. I think Neo was understood loud and clear, and it's this thing where you either got to be on this side of the debate or that side of the debate, where it's possible Neo could just be like, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm not stopping anybody from knocking their hustle. I think Neo may be a part of a big population that's like, pronouns are harder to remember. I am going to mess that up. You know what I mean? There's also a sect out there who refuse to respect what people want to be identified as, and to each his own. You know what I mean? I can't say I rock with that. I believe in giving everybody the same respect that I want to receive. You know what I mean? And you know, refer to me as I would like to be referred to. And I try to give that respect to everybody. But I might mess that up. I might assume, you know what I mean, and give me that grace to, you know, still mess up and be able to be corrected. So, shout out to Neo, you know what I mean, for being big enough, you know what I mean, to maybe realize the error in his ways, or I guess more so to think that not even an error in his ways or error in anything he said, but just to know that people did get offended by it, and hey, if you did, that wasn't what I meant by it. But I once again think that Neo should be allowed to have his opinion, should be allowed to express it as well. And then if you feel different, maybe invite Neo onto your platform and talk out why it isn't, because we all got to live in this world together. We all got to operate together, and I don't think everybody wants to be spending their days just offending people left and right. I don't think the majority of people really want to rock like that, despite, you know, what some people's comments and message boards may look like. New York Post reported that Lizzo has lost 220,000 Instagram followers after her dancer's claims of sexual harassment. If you're not aware, Lizzo is facing a lawsuit right now. She's being sued over alleged sexual harassment, causing a hostile work environment, and pressuring her dancers to do acts that they felt uncomfortable with in a strip club. You know what I mean? I think even forcing your employees to come to a strip club with you is already, you know what I mean, grounds for nervous activity. You know what I'm saying? But according to the statistics site Social Blade, Lizzo has lost 219,570 Instagram followers since the August 1st suit was filed. And that might be, you know, certain people just like, yo, I rock with Lizzo because she stood up to people weight shaming, and then now she's facing allegations of weight shaming. They're like, all right, I don't want to rock with that. I don't want to see. I'm not for the court of public opinion. Let the court of law, you know, play out. Let the facts come out. You know what I mean? If anything, you know, this shows us like maybe sometimes it is better to settle to keep things out of the public light, but at the end of the day, some people might view settling with people out of court, paying people, you know, that everyone that sues you can get old, you know, can feel very demoralizing, and could be seen as some people as an admission of guilt. So I can also see why, you know, hey, let's take this all the way to the court. But Lizzo is definitely taking a beating right now in the court of public opinion. But I mean, would she lose 200,000 over 200,000? I believe she has a couple million. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a big chunk of her fans, and I don't think she has any reason to be worried until it is. But it does show me that, you know, there are a sect of people out there who, you know, feel like, yo, this ain't cool. Hold on, let me see how many followers Lizzo got. Yeah, so like I said, Lizzo lost about 200,000 followers. She still got 13.3 million on Instagram. So I don't think, it ain't hurting nothing. Lizzo's still doing her. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see what else comes out. You know what I mean? The lawyers for the three dancers that are suing Lizzo said that people have contacted them that said, yo, they've seen the same type of activity from her. They've seen the same type of attitude from her. They've seen the same type of diva behavior. You know what I mean? They feel like they can add to the story. You know what I mean? That's a character description of Lizzo that matched up. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens in that situation. And hopefully the truth comes out. You know what I mean? Once again, the three dancers are Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez. And we'll see if any other dancers come out, if any other former employees, or maybe people come to Lizzo's defense. I think if my advice, just let this thing kind of play out and fade away, because people kind of move on from things pretty quickly. And I think if we learn anything from the controversies in hip hop and R&B music, you got R. Kelly, you got Chris Brown. Well, I guess for R. Kelly, his run ran out. But for a long time, R. Kelly was just dropping another hit. You know what I mean? Whenever the heat was on him, you know what I mean? It shows people. Rick Ross, when he had his issue with the correctional facility officer stuff, well, what he do? He just kept dropping hit after hit, and people won't deny it. So Lizzo, just get back in the studio, drop another hit. I think songs last longer than headlines. You know what I mean? So let's see what you could do with that. And it's another little short solo break from your guy DJ Playboy here, representing Perfect Talk Podcast, holding it down, man. Catch me on Twitter or X. What are they calling it nowadays? I'm gonna call it X. Catch me on the X at DJ Playboy. Catch me on Instagram and Threads at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Check out the website, perfecttalkpodcast.com. Once again, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Check out cushydreams.com, promo code PLICCA, you know what I mean, PLICCA. Big things are going over there. Check out brunonox.com, promo code Perfect Talk. A little saving over there as well. And we're just going to keep holding it down, man. Shout out to everybody out there. Just got DJ Playboy up out of here, man. Peace.